Owning and marketing a short-term rental property in 2022 looks a bit different than it did in years past. Competition is high, and the top-tier hosts are continuing to look for ways to better their property, including adding unique features to help them stand out from the crowd. Maybe you've invested in a hot tub this year, or quality kitchen amenities, or better listing photography. At our property, the Rockaway House, we've been taking a hard look at curb appeal, or lack thereof, and have been considering adding a mural to this drab walkway. Our hope is that it will not only brighten up the accessway and make a better first impression for our guests, but also serve as a marketing tool to help us increase our direct bookings, with guests taking and sharing photos against our branded wall. While researching muralists in San Diego, we came across the lovely ladies of PANDR Design Co. You may have seen their commercial murals for companies like Shake Shack or Lululemon, or their fun and informative videos on Instagram and TikTok. Phoebe and Roxy, the founders of PANDR, are experts in their industry and unbelievably talented, not just with a paintbrush, but also with marketing and branding. And Phoebe has carved some time out of her busy schedule to chat with us today about all things murals.
Hi everyone, I'm Steven.
And I'm Kylie, and today we are here with one of the founders of PANDR Design, Phoebe Cornog.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you were doing before you started PANDR?
Yeah, so I'm one half of PANDR Design Co. It's myself and my business partner, Roxy, and we started PANDR kind of by accident. We had no intention of starting a business, but both wanted to quit our full-time jobs. We were both graphic designers at the time. This is back in 2015, 2016. Like a lot of people, we're just sick of working on the computer all the time, and we wanted to get back to working with our hands. We both loved painting and drawing growing up. So we had a goal of painting one mural. We did that on like the weekends when we were off from work, and we just really loved the process and fell in love with it. And then, Roxy quit her job. Then I quit a few months later and started working at coffee shops together and collaborating, because it was just more fun than being by ourselves. And then posted that one mural to Instagram, and then that kind of really took off, and we just started getting constant inquiries of murals, and that's majority of what we do now.
Yeah, so that's actually how I found you, was through Instagram. We were looking for someone who could maybe help us with a mural at our place, the Rockaway House in San Diego, and loved your designs and your aesthetic and everything. And then we went back and forth a couple times, and then like a real jerk, I flipped the switch on you and told you that I was thinking about doing it myself, and then also had the audacity to ask you to come on our YouTube channel for a quick little interview. So thank you so much. So our channel is primarily focused towards short-term rental and vacation rental hosts. Have you ever stayed in a short-term rental yourself?
Oh yeah, I certainly can understand how, well, it's becoming more and more competitive. There's more rentals out there. So standing out by having cool decor is definitely one of the ways to go.
Absolutely.
We saw that you've done a lot of residential projects. Have you ever painted a mural at a vacation rental?
Yeah, we've done a few in Palm Springs. Roxy did one in Hawaii. Where else have we done? We did one in Boise, Idaho. So it's allowed us to travel a lot for work and get to see some really cool spaces, and then, or locations, and then also get to stay in a cool space. So yeah. We love it.
Is that how it's gone? Is like you've worked together with the owner to paint the mural and also stay and enjoy the house?
Yeah, if we're gonna be needing like a location or somewhere to stay, we work it out as part of the agreement that we can stay there for free or a partial trade, or it's definitely great for travel jobs.
That's really cool. What's been your like favorite project? Do you have a cool story? Sounds like you've been around, to a few cool places.
We love traveling, so some of our travel jobs have definitely stood out. I would say our favorite one was actually when we stayed at a hotel in Scottsdale, because they comped us massages and food as well. So that really made it a luxurious experience. Mural painting is manual labor, and although it looks like it's a lot of fun, it is really hard on the body. So when we got those massages, we were really happy, and it was, the mural that we painted was poolside, so we definitely hopped in the pool after we were done.
For sure. Yeah. It sounds like that host really set the bar high for
yeah.
for all of your other clients to come.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what I really liked about PANDR when I was doing my research on different muralists in San Diego is that you guys really have like a branding and marketing focused approach. You're not just painting a pretty picture on the wall. They seem to have a lot of thought and intention behind it. And then you also will promote your projects on your social media channels on Instagram and TikTok. So when you're designing these murals for the short-term rental projects, do you approach that more like a residential project or more like a commercial project?
I think it's easier to go more commercial in a short-term rental than a traditional residential. It, as you just said, it is really a brand that you're trying to promote. You want people that are vacationing there to share about you, make sure that you're booked for the rest of the year. We don't recommend painting, your Airbnb logo gigantic anywhere because that's not going to get engagement, but we definitely want to be strategic and smart about, what's inviting to people, what makes them feel excited to be on vacation. Yeah, share on social media as much as they can.
That's such a good point. So even though you're trying to brand the space, you don't necessarily need to plaster your logo on. It's more about creating something that your guests want to stand in front of and share with their friends at home. So that's a really great tip.
Yeah. It's the same with like normal commercial stuff that we do. Like if we have a business coming to us and saying that they want it to be a social media moment, particularly with men, we have to explain that a logo is not going to do that. Like a billboard is just not going to fly. No one wants to take a picture with a logo. And there is a lot of education that has to go into it, but we want our clients to be successful.
Absolutely. So speaking of successful, you and Roxy not only have a very successful business, but you guys are doing speaking engagements. You did a TED Talk. You wrote a book, which we both read and devoured in like an afternoon with ideas for our own projects. So your book, Wonder Walls, is filled with tips for beginners, and it really covers everything from color theory to choosing your paintbrushes and step-by-step tutorials. We were getting a lot of good tips from it, but we're still, a little bit nervous to tackle our own project.
I think the biggest thing, we thought about like some design concepts and ideas. We don't want to overcomplicate it, I guess, or overthink it. It's hard not to, when it's a space like we designed it, we did the interior design and setup and the renovations. And so kind of our baby, but like, I don't know, you tell us, but is simple better in like a beginner scenario, or what advice do you have for us?
Absolutely. You can always add more, like you just start simple and then you can work upwards from there. And a lot of the time, like the most simple ones are the most impactful. Like it doesn't have to be anything really crazy to get people to take photos with it. We see that all the time with like literally the name of a town, and people are just obsessed with, or what's the mural in Austin that says like, I love you so much, everyone takes photos with that. So it can be really, really simple, like an arch. We have an example of that in our book, like the arch behind the bed as a faux headboard is really simple. So yeah, don't stress yourself out too much. It is intimidating when you're getting started, but with more and more practice, and you can always paint over it if you mess up.
It's true.
And we can always paint over it and then call in the experts to come
that's true.
and do the job that we probably should have hired you for in the beginning. But now we're kind of down that path and we want to see if we can see it out.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
One of the things, we're going to do this mural outside, and some vacation rentals, it's a mix, I guess, but maybe many will be outside. Like what changes for you, like with a brick wall or block wall versus like smooth drywall? Like what should we keep in mind for that?
It's a pain in the ass. It's just going to take longer. Smooth drywall is like the creme de la creme, but just prepare. It's going to take longer than you think. But paint wise, it's literally just exterior house paint. It's made with UV protection and all that in it these days, so you don't have to worry about peeling or fading. Some of our murals have been out in bright sunshine for the last 7 years, and they still look just as bright as when we painted them. So, and I would just design, especially for brick too, like I think you should design simple, because it's harder to replicate anything that's too tiny and detailed with all those little crevices in between. So I don't want you to get too intricate with it. Start with like simple blocks of shape, or
Okay, that's good thinking. Yeah, block wall, I can imagine is not the friendliest medium.
And you mentioned in the book that it soaks up paint, right? So we're going to have to probably use a lot of paint.
Yeah. So you don't have to get any fancy primer or anything. Like you could just use, put down a layer of white first, especially yellows or reds are already really thin and already require a ton of coats. So with a yellow or red going on a brick, then you probably would want to do some white first. I don't recommend painting a white or a yellow on top of black, anything on top, lighter on top of a darker is just going to be tough. Maybe save yourself a headache with that.
That's a good point.
So in following you guys on Instagram, we noticed that you always have jumpsuits on, sometimes matching jumpsuits. Is this just to protect your clothes? Does it give you some kind of painting mural superpowers? And should Steven and I get some?
I think you should definitely get some. Go the full route. We definitely wear them to actually protect ourselves. Some are better than others. Like some brands we like better than others are like thicker or thin. Like unfortunately the Dickies ones are a little thin, so they're great for when it's really hot out, like right now. But at the same time, the paint will seep through, so it doesn't necessarily protect your skin. It's just important too to have comfortable shoes because you are on your feet climbing up and down a ladder, and it's tough on your feet.
Sure. I can imagine.
What do you guys see as the vision for PANDR over the next few years? You know, you said you quit your full-time jobs. Is this fulfilling now for you, or where do you see it growing?
Yeah, we are plugging away going forward with this. We are probably going to shift a little bit into more digital artwork just because our bodies, I'm like repeating myself, but yeah, we're like manual labor has been tough on our bodies. So we just can't keep going at this same speed with murals, although we're hard workers. So we're going to continue to like just keep designing and putting our art out there. So we'd like to get it more into art licensing where we design anything to be on like notebooks, party supplies, calendars, fabric, you name it. There's a market for that kind of work out there. So yeah. And then we also do branding. So we'll probably get back into that more. It's always like grass is greener. You don't want to be on the computer. So then you do murals and then now we've done too many murals. So we need to get back on the computer to give ourselves a break. So just trying to find that happy medium.
We can relate to that. 100%.
Plugging away as like a property manager is a physical activity. It's time that you're devoting. Have to be somewhere. It's similar in some ways. And now, you know, we see YouTube is probably the same way you see the digital art as a way
to reach more people and impact more people without cloning ourselves.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to chat with us today. I'd encourage all of you to go and check out PANDR on all of their socials and their website if you're interested in adding a mural to your own vacation rental. So Phoebe, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on TikTok and
we have like 1,000 different handles and things, but yeah, PANDR Design Co. on Instagram, and then Roxy and I both have our individual accounts, Phoebe Cornog and Roxy Prima, on both Instagram and TikTok, and we go live a lot on Instagram to answer questions about murals and stuff. So if you have any questions moving forward, feel free to reach out. And I think that's it.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's been really cool talking to you.
Well, thank you both. Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Chat soon.
Bye.